Here we go. This is the last round of the World Magic Cup. I am Rashad Miller. I'm here with Zach Hill, and we're about to watch a couple of Magic powerhouses here.
Yeah, each of these players, Willy Edel and Marvin the Bear, otherwise known as Lemoine.
I like that.
4 top 8 appearances for each of them. 8 top 8s total, and several national team appearances as well. I'm particularly impressed by Lybaert as he has won 2 separate WMCQs to represent the Belgian national team in the last 2 years.
That's pretty impressive, and so it's the second turf flint of Boar, you know, as you would say, because you love that card.
Boring.
No, it's a little more exciting than that. So Willy Edel did take a mulligan down to 6, and you know, he usually would like to see a 1-drop, but when you're down to 6 cards, you got to take what you can get, right? So back to Mr. Lybaert.
So we see Edel's hand a lot slower. Hellrider, Gore Clan Rampager, Domri Raid. A lot more expensive cards, not really what you want when your opponent has a ton of pressure on the board, and that's exactly what Marijn has right now. He's got, I believe, a Flint of Boar. He's got a Strangleroot Geist in his hand, and his own Domri Raid if he wants to start getting ahead on card advantage. So he's simply got to decide what's higher priority to him. Getting Planeswalker advantage or putting more threats on the board.
And obviously this all matters as to how he plays this land, tapped or untapped. So it looks like it's not going to be Strangleroot, guys, because the combat has happened and Flinthoof board just attacks for 3.
Okay, so we are going to see a Planeswalker hit the battlefield, and we might get a chance to see M14 rules in action.
Ooh, again.
Yes.
I mean, if you've watched throughout, you know, these 4 days of Wonderful Magic, you've seen some interesting new interactions because of the changes to the legendary rules and Planeswalker rules from M14.
So it looks like M plays a Domri Raid but misses on the activation, and we see a Domri from Willy now as well.
I think now all we need is some way for the 2 Planeswalkers to actually fight each other.
They actually need to punch each other in the face.
Yeah, he actually did hit a Thundermaw Hill
my apologies.
off of that. No, it's okay. It's just a Thundermaw Hill kite.
Merely.
Merely. Easily overlooked.
And Willy, I believe, hit a Thundermaw as well.
Yeah. So there is a Elvish Mystic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Lybaert missed, Willy hit.
Yes.
So 4 available mana for Lybaert. That could mean Strangleroot Geist and Scavenging Ooze. Getting a lot of pressure hitting the battlefield.
Going to start off with the Geist. That's 5 points going at the Domri. So Marijn wants to be the only one. He wants to have the last raid standing.
Is that actually a metric that you can use? Last raid standing?
It is. It's also useful for when you're talking about Olirade. He uses it at the reunions.
Yeah, right. They're related, actually.
Lots of beers. Lots of beers.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, sorry.
We have the option of another Domri from Willy, probably not necessarily what he wants to do against this board. Arbor Elf in his hand. Gore Clan Rampager, big enough to play a decent amount of defense. Hellrider could threaten Marijn's Domri, and Thundermaw not quite able to be cast yet, although it's certainly looming on the horizon.
Now, how much do you value getting as much use out of all of your mana each turn? Say in this situation, because we have a couple of 4-drops that can be played, or there can be, you know, there's a play Arbor Elf to ensure that you can cast a Thundermaw next turn.
Yeah, I mean, I value it pretty highly. The thing is, you can't really ensure your Arbor Elf's going to stick around because of that Domri on the battlefield that gets fought by everything there. Rampager is a safe play to play defense. The problem is, again, with active Domri and Marijn about to hit 5 mana, you have to expect it to be able to be fought by a Thundermaw Hellkite. I mean, the bottom line is that Edel's just in a really bad place right here without very many early plays.
So Edel plays his Mountain and goes with the Hellrider, and he's going to attack the Domri Raid.
Right, and what that allows him to do is get Domri down to 1 loyalty, meaning it can't fight the Hellrider. The downside of that is he's just losing this race so hard, having to give up 4 points of damage and not even getting rid of the Planeswalker.
When you said fight the Hellrider, I thought you were going to say something else.
Fight the power?
Well, you know.
Look, I just like to fight, all right? I mean, I'm all about aggression. I'm a Rakdos guy at heart.
Such a bully. So the Domri Raid does go down to 2, goes down to 1. It goes back up to 2. I'm not sure if he hit. Looks like he missed. And there is a Thundermaw Hellkite, which is going to come in with the Flinthoof Boar and the Strangleroot Geist. threatening to bring Willy down to 7.
Yeah, that's 10 points of damage right there, threatening another 15 next turn. Even a defensive Thunder Maul wouldn't do it. I mean, in a matchup with this many haste creatures, being on the play and having a turn 1 mana creature, both incredibly important, as it is just so hard to come back when your deck is all offense.
So didn't quite see what that card was from Willy, but it doesn't look like it was pretty good. Looks like it was a mountain.
A basic mountain hollering at Patrick Sullivan right now.
Slowly, Willy palms his face.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a grip full of cards, and he's got a grip full of good cards, and he can cast them all. But just none of them come even close to getting him back from this situation.
He really wanted to go to 5 on this hand, but sometimes you have to consider, is your 5-card hand going to be as good as the 6-card that you're looking at?
Right, I mean, it has lands and spells. If he'd drawn a turn 1 mana elf, I think he'd have been in a lot better shape. I mean, sometimes any way you look at it, you're going to have to take a risk, and he took the risk, and it just didn't really, his hand didn't really develop into anything.
Willy's really laboring over what to do, and he's in a very, very bad position. I don't know that he can even think his way out of this. He has a Thunder Maul Hellkite that he can use to interact with the Thunder Maul Hellkite that Marijn has. I don't know what else. I don't know if that gets him as far as he needs to.
Well, right, that's the thing. The Thunder Maul Hellkite ability not only deals 1 damage to every flying creature when it enters the battlefield, it also taps them all. So even if you wanted to play a Thunder Maul to play defense, you're just not going to be able to do that on their first attack. When your life total is at 7, your opponent already has a Thunder Maul. That is going to put the game away. Of course, Willy doesn't know about the second Thunder Maul, so at the very least he can play, like you were saying, Rashad, the first one to try and block.
Exactly. So now the Hell Rider is going to attack to take out the Domri.
The trigger, yes.
The trigger is going to redirect the damage to Domri. And it looks like we're going to have a Blood-Rushed Gore Clan Rampager.
So that's going to hit Lybaert for 7 damage, and he just shows the...
Yeah, just flash a Hellkite. I need to make that T-shirt.
I believe that was the literal still have all these, is what I think that was.
So Marijn Lybaert leads 1-0 over Willy Edel. Qualifiers for the next Pro Tour begin August 17th, and the format is sealed deck. You could be on the big stage for Pro Tour Born of the Gods, taking place February 21st through 23rd in Valencia, Spain. For more information, visit wizards.com/PTQ. So it looks like we are going to head to the middle table where Enzo Real is playing against Vincent Lemoine. Do you like both of my,
That's pretty good.
That I used? I used 2 different accents.
You did lose 2 different accents there. And at least Vincent Lemoine, I can say. I've been teaming with Marijn at Pro Tours for something like a decade now, and I still can't say his name, which is embarrassing.
Actually, I think it's Vincent.
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 There you go. That's what. There we go. Lemoine. That's wonderful. Anyway, as we both evince our inability to pronounce basic phonics, or phonemes, I believe the word is. And some people are playing Magic today.
Yeah, here we get
a
look at Vincent Lemoine's stats. 35 years old, 118 career pro points, a lot of money, $44,000, over $44,000 he's won. 1 Pro Tour top 8, he's a little over 50%, 55% win percentage at Pro Tours, got a Grand Prix top 8 under his belt, and he's running about 59% in wins there. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Again, the Belgian team has been rock solid for a long time. Vincent's been a fixture of that. Yeah, really, really good stats right here. I'm just eager to see what's going on in this game between black-green mid-range with a nice Disciple of Bolas Thragtusk combo and blue-white-red control.
Well, there's a Thragtusk in play.
Never something you're complaining about when you're playing Thragtusk.
Right, so Real draws a card, and it's a land to go along with, looks like a Desecrator Demon. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, the deck plays 4 copies of Desecration Demon. This is one of the brand new decks to come out of Magic 2014 on the independent games circuit. Mutavault being a real essential card to this deck. Also Scavenging Ooze, and of course 4 copies of Lifebane Zombie. Really a nice innovative deck to come out of the last couple of weeks.
And it looks like there's Desecration Demons on the other team as well at the back table.
Yeah, both Enzo and formerly Marijn, but now Emmanuel, I think, are playing this black-green deck. So actually interesting tidbit. Each of these 3 teams is playing the same 3 decks, but just in different seats. So we're going to see, I think, different matchups despite all the decks being the same on both sides.
Looks like Real picked up an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, and really a solid momentum for Real and just a loose hand from Lemoine. I mean, tons of lands on the battlefield, even more lands in hand. The only thing that he has is a Snapcaster Mage and this Aurelia's War Leader's Helix.
Yeah, we call that Snap Helixing.
Snap Helixing,
But it
yes.
looks like the Helix went to the wrong zone after it was
Oh,
done.
it's supposed to be exiled again, not back in the graveyard.
Yeah, we'll just do it again. We'll do it again
Yeah,
later.
just keep it coming. Could you sing the song Snap Ya Fangas to me every time that happens? Flash buyback, VDM says, is that mechanic when you just get to keep your spell in the graveyard. And
there
looks
is
like
the
Vincent
Desecration.
noticed.
Yep, there's a Desecration Demon we were so giddy about. Well, I was giddy.
I
You're
was
just
giddy.
like, yeah, it's just a
I've been there,
it's a
done
6/6.
that. Dude, I'm a hipster. Look, if people started playing Desecration Demon all the way back at Pro Tour Dragon's Maze.
I remember.
Yeah. I listened to that band when they first came out. They've sold out now, though.
Yeah, now it's trendy to do, so no one really wants to do it.
I played Desecration Demon back when it was Abyssal Persecutor. That's actually a lie. I thought Abyssal Persecutor was garbage.
You need to have a chat with one Mr. Conley Woods.
Oh, my goodness. My mailing list is griefing me for humble bragging right now.
So a pass of the turn, but Lemoine does have a Restoration Angel in his hand, which gives him the ability to block and eat a Beast token and get some value off of that Snapcaster Mage. Not a lot of options in the graveyard for it, but if he wants to block with it, he can. And the Abrupt Decay is just going to take that guy out unless Restoration Angel hits the battlefield and saves it.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Snapcaster Mage can be sacrificed to get a turn of Desecration Demon tapping. Angel is holding that beast off for a little bit, but yeah, with 4 mana open, you're usually hoping that your Restoration Angel Snapcaster Mage is going to be a little more exciting than it already is.
Now, when you say holding that beast off, you mean the actual beast, not the Desecration Demon.
Yeah, the literal beast.
Yeah, because the Desecration Demon's kind of a beast, too.
Just more and more gasoline coming off Enzo's side. Doomblade taking that Angel out of the equation, and Enzo within a turn away of dealing lethal damage right now.
Well, I believe we are backing up to the combat step.
Oh, yeah?
Because we have a trigger.
We might see a sacrifice.
Yeah, we might see a resolution of the Desecration Demon trigger to keep it tapped.
Yes, but you asked him if you could attack, and he said yes. That means that you...
He was asking for the trigger of the demon.
Yes, but he didn't. But he asked.
Yeah.
He asked for attack.
The trigger, kill.
He didn't ask for the trigger.
No,
He asked for
can I
attack.
attack?
I was there. I saw that.
No,
If-
I declare my attack phase.
Yes.
Yeah?
He did okay, trigger. The
But
demo,
then you're
and I
declaring
killed
attacking.
the angel.
Yes, but okay. I understand what you wanted to do, but you asked him if you could attack, and he said yes. This is my final ruling. You have the chance to appeal with the head judge, so if you want, I can call him.
As we see, there's a dispute over whether he declared the attack step or whether he's saying, are you going to let my Desecration Demon attack?
Am I insensitive if I want to play the Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy music while Enzo decides if he wants to appeal?
I think team captain Willy Edel said Enzo let it go, so we might see gameplay advance along. As you see with Desecration Demon, at the beginning of each combat, you can sack a guy. If you do, Demon gets bigger, but you have to tap it.
So there were no attacks I'm a slight bit confused exactly when, like, what happened. Did we pass through the attack step somehow?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there.
Well, we're attacking this time, so.
Yeah, certainly the dudes are getting into the red zone. I thought the dispute was over whether Vincent could sack the Snapcaster Mage to the Desecration Demon. Maybe it would have been where after the declare attack step. Yeah, I'm not quite sure
Yeah,
what
that
took
was
place
also
there.
my understanding. But we are back into gameplay, and we have combat in both directions, and Vincent Lemoine picked up, looks like a Pillar of Flame.
Yeah, and a giant Sphinx's Revelation with all that extra mana. That extra turn could have cost Enzo this game, as he has given Vincent an extra turn to draw what is going to be a huge Sphinx's Revelation for what it looks like 8 life and 8 cards.
Huge it is. So he's going to draw 8 cards. That's going to bring him back up to 16. So he's not going to care too much about the 9 damage. Well, yeah, the 9 damage he's taken from this attack.
And we see that remaining Pillar of Flame and just a grip full of cards of Lemoine, hopefully pulling him out, hopefully for him, pulling him out of that pretty severe mana flood we saw before. You know, it looks like 5 spells prior to that, and
Well, one of those
like
spells was
11 lands.
One of those spells was a Supreme Verdict, so.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's not a bad one to have be one of your spells.
And there it is. Supreme Verdict is going to take out the 2 creatures that are in play. Now, I thought I might have seen another Sphinx's Revelation in his hand. No, that's a War Leader's Helix.
Which is, again, not bad when you're sitting at 7 life and needing to stabilize. And, we see Emmanuel Devine taking the first game against Alasanabe, too, putting Belgium in a commanding lead at this point.
Back to our game, we have a lot of cards in Vincent Lemoine's hand. And he's getting another one. He's getting to think twice, which is another card.
Just so much thinking going on.
Actually, another card.
You want to walk us through that, Rashad?
Maybe later,
Okay.
during the break.
When I'm older, I'll understand.
Yeah.
And Vincent going from 2 blank lands in hand to having to discard, and that was a pretty key turn for the blue-white-red player.
And there's definitely not a lot going in Enzo Real's hand. There's nothing but a Disciple, and I believe possibly a land.
Yeah, and Disciple, clearly not exactly where you want to be with no other creatures on the table right after your opponent has cast Supreme Verdict, and that's going to be the game.
That is the game as Vincent Lemoine wins and has a 1-0 lead over Enzo Real.
All right, so Belgium taking what looks like a clean sweep at game 1.
You can play Magic at a store near you every Friday. Earn Planeswalker points and battle against your friends in Friday Night Magic. August F&M promo card is the Mirror Charm. Visit wizards.com/F&M to find a store near you. When's the last time you played Friday Night Magic? Zach Hill.
It has been a long, long, long time.
You mean not this last Friday?
Well, because half the time I don't know whether I'm eligible to play or not. I don't want to make it awkward for a store owner. If DCI reporter says, like, nah, throw this guy out of your store.
Well, okay, when's the last time you played Magic on a Friday night?
Oh,
Probably last Friday night.
Whatever. Since I don't get to play Magic enough anymore. I've been, we're always traveling for my company, but I play lots of Cube Draft at some point. BDM informing me that yeah, that's true. I did play Magic last night. I guess that counts as a Friday.
I mean, that was Friday.
Also,
that's what I was trying to get at, but I could see that the 4 days of this tournament has taken a toll on your ability to know when and where we are.
I have no earthly idea. We're eating lunch at like 6 o'clock at night.
And it's delicious.
We're waking up at, Infi in the morning. I'm 6 hours away from normal time. We're in Magic Zone. We're gathering magic here in Amsterdam.
All right, and speaking of gathering magic, we're going to gather the cameras into the back table and watch Ayusan Abe versus Emmanuel Delvin. What are these guys playing?
We are watching, and the deck list we got are slightly out of deck.
Delvin leads 1-0.
Yeah,
right now.
I believe Abe is blue-white-red, and Delvine is the Belgian take on the black-green mid-range deck that we just saw in action on the other side of the table.
Red-green mid-range.
No. These two are swapped. Our deck lists are not accurate. So, yeah, he has got 4 copies of Desecration Demon in his list.
I think I am a fan of Desecration Demon, although it can cause some confusion, as we just saw.
Confusion Demon. He's desecrating your ability to understand the game state.
Was that part of the playtest name?
Yeah. It was one of the classically long Zach Hill playtest names.
We should have a website dedicated to...
I'd read the Twitter hashtag for Zan the Clan Man, which was just one of the many exquisite gatherer lists. That'll make a good Arcana someday. Trick can file these away.
Of all of the table shuffling methods you've seen, I don't know if you got to see that.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
That was the most beautiful I've ever seen.
Table shuffling is a lost art form, man. It's like Kibler shuffling your hand, you know.
Except instead of it being, you know, a speed, like a race, it's more of an art form.
Yeah, it's like a tapestry, maybe a diorama of some sort.
I was thinking, you know, one of those fans, the paper fans that you hang on your wall.
Maybe a mosaic composed of individual magic sleeves.
It wasn't really very mosaic-y. They were kind of stacked up. It was a fan. It was a bunch of fans.
It was a fan. Well, a fan is what we need in this arena with no air conditioning.
Humble brags. There's air conditioning in here right now.
So nice.
I'm kind of cold, actually.
Man.
It's kind of chilly in here.
I'll make sure to keep you warm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's what friends do for each other.
Is it?
No, I'm Rakdos.
There you go.
Got it in there. And we didn't think we'd be able to do that.
I know.
Ravnica is over.
So, how does this matchup go, even though we just watched it?
It's hard to show.
We're sideboarding. You're down a game. What are you doing?
I mean, if you're blue-white-red, I think the plan is simple. I mean, I think the plan is literally just kill all of their guys and counter all of their spells. You know that the Belgians are playing Cavern of Souls in their blue-white-red list, meaning that you don't have access to Cavern of Souls. So the black-green deck that you're up against doesn't have access to Cavern of Souls, meaning that you're going to be able to do things like syncopate and dissipate that deck's Thragtusks. So I think you just bring in Detention Sphere, Supreme Verdict, O-Ring, and just kill all of their creatures. Bring in Jace Memory Adept as a finisher. Bring in Assemble the Legion as a way that they can't deal with to end the game and turn stalls into your favor. Conversely, if you're the black-green deck, I think you just bring in Underworld Connections, Primeval Bounty, Vraska the Unseen, Liliana, and just, you know, start playing a card advantage game.
All right, so not a lot of action just yet. We have a few land hitting the battlefield, and obviously we expect for Delvine to be the first to make a move, and it is in the form of Duress.
Yeah, Duress, obviously, one of the most important possible things that you could be doing in this matchup. You just get to strip the Revelations out of their hand before they even happen. Remember, the blue-white deck only has 3 Sphinx's Revelation. Of course, they have Snapcaster Mage to use it, but when that card starts to cost, you know, X5, in order to start drawing cards, it gets a little bit less effective.
Now, there was a Think Twice in response by Ayosin Abe. Now, is that something that you would normally do? Do you think that he needed the 3rd land and he didn't have it yet?
I think that's probably what it's got to be. I mean, you don't normally allow your opponent to duress more cards unless you really need that Think Twice to get an extra land drop.
Yeah, especially with the Think Twice having flashback. If it gets hit, there's not a lot of downside.
Duress, it's funny to see it out of the sideboard so much nowadays, because for a long time it was just like if you were playing black, you were main decking 4 copies of that card.
Oh yeah, that was back in the Magic days of spells being a lot better than you know, creatures.
Yeah, you didn't see too many ostracizes running around.
It was available. It was out there.
Yeah, oh yeah, it came out in the same block.
So it looks like the 3 cards that'll be the 2 cards on the side were the real consideration. And Syncopate hits the graveyard, preferably to clear the way for some upcoming spell from Delvine.
What we're seeing for Delvine, he's got a Liliana of the Veil, and I think his plan has got to be just cast Liliana and ride it to victory. It's also going to power up his Scavenging Ooze, so I think all he wants to do is get that creature on the board and use that essentially as his entire game plan.
Yes, and Abe definitely showed a hand full of cards that did not interact with Liliana of the Veil.
Right, exactly.
Except if interacting is going from the hand to the graveyard because of the +1.
Yeah, and sometimes you might be able to force your opponent to play a blind Snapcaster Mage. It looks like Abe did top deck an Oblivion Ring, but you know, if what you're doing is getting your opponent to Snapcaster Mage without flashing anything back, your Liliana has done a decent amount of work already.
So Think Twice is flashbacked in response to the Liliana activation, and looks like a Supreme Verdict hits the graveyard. Looks like both of these teams are, well, it looks like Willy Edel is concerned about the pace of play, so he just wants to make sure that everything stays, you know, brisk and kosher so that the match actually ends with a victor, because if these two teams draw, then things get kind of funky.
Yeah, they do. I think the Belgian team is into day 2 with a draw, so they are clearly advantaged if the game, if the match doesn't properly end. The other thing is they're up 1-0 in all of their games. So in order for these matches to finish, the pace of play is going to have to accelerate.
So an Oblivion Ring actually takes out the Liliana Veil, and then Delvine's follow-up is a Lifebane Zombie, which doesn't have a lot of targets, especially with Abe just peeling a Restoration after the Lifebane hits the battlefield.
Yeah, we've seen some very unfortunate discard spells from Delvine. We've seen Duress followed up by the Oblivion Ring for the Liliana. Now we've seen Lifebane Zombie followed up by Restoration Angel. But that is the downside of discard. I mean, you really can't rely upon it to resolve a threat because, as Cedric Phillips is known to say, you draw a card every turn.
Every turn?
Every single turn you draw a card. Sometimes you draw your answers.
There is a Scavenging Ooze for Delvine.
All right.
No green mana open to activate it, so right now this is a chance for any Snapcaster Mages to do anything.
Now, we didn't see an in-step Restoration Angel, presumably because of that second Supreme Verdict. So, you know, 2 Supreme Verdicts having been used now paves the way for a very good Thragtusk right here.
Yeah, and that was a Supreme Verdict that Delvine knew that Abe had, so that all had to have been planned out. Thragtusk is looking to begin the onslaught on Abe's life total.
And certainly at some point, you know, you've got to draw out the Supreme Verdict, and I think you might just be relying upon this Thragtusk to go the distance. I mean, Abe at 15, nice, clean 3 attacks from this Thragtusk, and even if he is able to muster an answer, it means that he's got to show you 2 of them. And with the Demon in your hand, it clears the way just for your biggest threats.
Yeah, Abe takes 5 from the Thragtusk, goes down to 10. Looks like he just passed the turn back, or is he considering still? Doing a little bit of math, trying to figure out what those 5 open mana sources for Abe could represent.
I think he's trying to think if he plays the Demon, he's walking into Snapcaster Mage, Supreme Verdict. Also, though, I don't think he wants to play a Liliana and simply discard yet another threat in the Demon or his 6th land. Of course, Liliana could always just walk into a Restoration Angel and be very awkward for all parties involved.
So end of turn, Think Twice with Flashback picks up a Supreme Verdict and a Dissipate for Abe.
Yeah, so a lot of really quality spells in Abe's hand. What he doesn't have right now is a good answer to that Thragtusk. Even if it eats a Restoration Angel, that Restoration Angel isn't blinking anything. So Delvine, I think, has got to be reasonably comfortable here just saying go. Playing Liliana right now, asking, I think that was a really good call on his part last turn to hold the Liliana, because now what he's doing is saying, okay, if you want to answer this, you're not going to have the opportunity to set up a big Sphinx's Revelation this turn.
Right, that's a very good point.
And if you don't want to answer it, then all right, don't answer my Liliana.
Now, Abe does have a lot of cards in there. He has about 5. And Delvine doesn't have a lot going on other than the Thragtusk. That's in play. So could those 5 cards, you know, 2 of those cards could just answer this Thragtusk, and you just have to have a Liliana to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can Sphinx's Revelation for 3. Liliana making Delvine discard Putrefy doesn't really get too far ahead just yet. And what we're seeing is, okay, Liliana's going to sit at 3, and if Restoration Angel is going to attempt to threaten the Liliana, well, I'll just Putrefy it. So now we just have a Planeswalker sitting on the battlefield at 3.
Well, the Putrefy did kill the Restoration
Right,
Angel,
exactly.
but there is a Snapcaster Mage that came down just to be a 2/1. Attack Liliana down to 1 so that the no sacrifice abilities can be used, and it's just closer to dead.
Yeah, so and now we see the Moorland Haunt there keeping Abe alive right now, but not just a ton of creatures in the graveyard. So, and again, in order to stay alive, Abe's got to tap 3 mana, not allowing him to take advantage of Sphinx's Revelation. Now, he can just Sphinx's Revelation and gain some life, but that keeps him within 1 more lethal attack yet again.
And it seems like if that were the plan, Snapcaster Mage might have stayed back on defense just to keep 3 extra mana open.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plan is from Abe just to Sphinx's Revelation and say whatever. I'm gonna stay at 4 life, and my cards are gonna draw me enough answers to get out of this.
Willy Edel ties the match up against Marijn Lybaert. So they're tied at 1 apiece, and after this game, we're gonna go back to that match.
Yeah, and we're seeing a Sphinx's Revelation for 4, so Abe just says, all right, this is my window. I don't need to make a Moorland Haunt token. I don't need to keep Snapcaster Mage back. I'm just going to take a Thragtusk hit, and I'm going to figure it out from there.
Yeah, he's been taking that Thragtusk hit for the last 3 turns. He's at 4 life. That 4 life is basically from the Sphinx's Revelation, from the 15 that he started off with.
Right, and now that Snapcaster Mage has hit the table, he says, okay, maybe the path is clear for my Desecration Demon.
Demon hits the battlefield. Back to Abe. He has a lot of cards. He has 2 land drops. Looks like he's going to attack into Desecration Demon. Supreme Verdict incoming.
Got to be telegraphing the 3rd Supreme Verdict. And relevantly, that does leave Liliana on the battlefield and gives Delvine a Beast token, which is still going to attack.
Yes. Now, Abe does have Moorland Haunt and Moorland Haunt mana at the ready, so he's not going to take damage if he doesn't want to.
Right, and even if Delvine draws a removal spell, Abe, 1 life, very different from 0 life.
And it looks like it's Lifebane Zombie. Not quite the removal spell that Delvine was looking for.
Not an excellent removal spell, but the evasion is relevant against a board of Moorland Haunt. That means that Abe is going to have to properly either answer the Lifebane Zombie or gain a lot more life. Otherwise, he's just going to die straight away.
Yeah, he's only at 4 life, so that would be 2 attacks from the Lifebane Zombie, and there's no interaction other than killing that zombie in the blue-white-red deck.
Right, well, or just Sphinx's Revelationing a lot.
I mean, that's
saying, all right.
Come on, actually interacting with the zombie, not ignoring
Destructive interaction. So now, again, Delvine just tried to say, okay, what do I do here? Do I commit, do I commit another Desecration Demon? Do I commit a Lifebane Zombie? Do I say go? Probably not going to say go, but he definitely wants to empty his hands so this Liliana can start doing something. As it stands right here, it might bite the dust to the Spirit token right now, which would be a good argument for playing Desecration Demon, not to attack, but rather to block a 1/1 Spirit.
Yeah. I mean, Abe goes down to 1 and doesn't really have anything other than a token to make. He has a Dissipate in his hand. He has... Does he have another Sphinx's Revelation? That's...
Yeah, he does have another Sphinx's Revelation.
So this game is probably going to go on a little bit longer than the life totals say.
Yeah, it's not going to be a short game. And right now, Abe just trying to decide, okay, do I dissipate this? Do I worry about it? The advantage of it getting dissipated is it means your Liliana is sticking around for at least another turn. But Abe's hand has a lot of hot ones in it.
I mean, and he's going to draw a whole bunch more cards, so why not just use this dissipate while you can, right? So he plays this land, and the Sphinx's Revelation is coming right to the front. He's going to wait for the attack. You attack with the beast, so everyone knows something's happening, and it is Revelations 4/6. That's going to bring Abe back up to 7 life. He's going to take 3, go down to 4. But most importantly, he gets 6 brand new cards.
So many cards. I just want to see a Notion Thief hit the board in any of these games. I'd be so happy. Look, man, Sire of Insanity sometime, Voice of Resurgence. I tried to put a lot of cards in Insanity to hate on this card. Let's play those.
No spoilers. No spoilers. You gotta let the people figure it out themselves.
I just mean in Dragon's Maze, a.k.a. Return to Hating Sphinx's Revelation.
So Abe at 4 once again has plenty of land drops to make. He has a Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster is pretty live with the 3 Supreme Verdicts in the graveyard. That's probably going to be the play just to clear this board.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point, the momentum really shifting in favor of Abe. I mean, Delvine theoretically has ways of drawing a lot of cards and getting back in this. That's why Disciple of Bolas is in the deck. But that doesn't work if you don't have any creatures on the battlefield. And it looks like we're seeing Wrath Effect after Wrath Effect.
And there
Abe
is the
keeping 3 mana now, but and doesn't look as though he has a counterspell. So Delvine really one turn to put something together.
Better make it a good turn.
They're currently counting their lands, obviously a really relevant variable when it comes to discarding at the end step.
Looks like there's also a Assembled Legions in Abe's hand.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an Augur Bolas, which whiffs, but gives him a body on the board just in case something weird happens.
It does put Rune Chanter's Pike essentially to the bottom of the deck. We see a Jace going to the bottom now, too. So a lot of the finishers that Abe would like to use to end this game are not going to be at hand anytime soon.
Now, he still has a Restoration Angel, which is going to, blink the Augur Bolas and also gives him a 3-power flyer, which is usually enough to end a game relatively quickly.
That is true. We still have Morlenhaunt, of course, threatening to deal damage. So right now, the Augur is ticking away at Liliana, and Abe, the game's far from over right now, but with a grip full of cards and Assembled Legion, he's just trying to make things move along as quickly as possible.
Speaking of finishers, this one finishes the job not quite super quickly, but eventually, and then it just gets out of hand.
And Delvine, of course, saying, all right, I'm still going to draw cards. I'm still going to figure out what to do. I'm going to play, and you're going to keep discarding, so figure out how to beat me.
Well, Liliana doesn't have long for this world.
No.
As Restoration Angel hits the battlefield, it's going to blink the Augur Bolas. And a third whiff on these
Yeah, a lot
Augur
of misses these Augurs, but still 5 damage a turn being presented by Abe is, I mean, that's 5 attacks from 25 life, and Abe is going to be drawing plenty more cards before we get to that point.
Yeah, I would think that at least 2 of that 5, now 6 damage is going to go at Liliana the Veil, just to not have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to accumulate cards, and yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't do it, it's going to edict you, which is going to be net more life anyway. So might as well get the Liliana off the battlefield whenever you can.
I mean, there is the whole theory that eventually, with Assembled Legions on the battlefield and getting more and more counters, that Liliana just isn't going to matter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just think Liliana, even edicting your token, is just going to wind up being more than 2 damage over the course of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Augurs go after Liliana, should take her out, and then there's 4 damage coming at Emmanuel. That's going to bring him down to 21.
Mutavault playing some offense. So Abe, between the Assembled Legion, the Merfolk, the Soldier, and the Angel, is going to put Delvine away very soon, assuming he can't muster something. Now, Delvine does play Mutilate. That is a theoretical way out of this situation. Of course, Counterflux.
Right.
Gonna nip that plan in the bud.
Probably won't resolve. A Morlenhaunt activation is going to put another point of power on the board for Abe, and I think he's well in control, and we're going to see another game. We're going to see a game 3 with him.
Wait, we hear that Abe's teammate has the card Demonic Rising in play.
I am not 100% sure what that does. Is that if you control 1 creature, you get a 5/5 demon?
That is exactly what it is.
The demons have arisen.
Man. Oh, man, going deep out of the black deck. That is an exciting card. Very, very good in concert with Mutavault. You can activate it. Oh, I have a creature. Demon. Oh, now I have one creature.
Demon.
Demon. Yeah, pretty cool.
And there's a duress just to kind of see. This has to be just for information. I can imagine that this is going to try to force anything through. And the counterflux is just going to counter the duress, so you can't see. Lifebane Zombie, he still wants to see the hand. Restoration Angel is going to come down in response. No, well, I guess he still gets to see the hand eventually.
Yeah, I mean, these plays are being done just to gain information for Game 3.
And there we go. We're going to Game 3 as this match is tied up at 1 apiece. You can play Magic at a store near you every Friday. Earn Planeswalker points and battle against your friends in Friday Night Magic. August's FMM promo card is the Mirchar. Visit wizards.com/FMM to find a store near you. See, we did this so that now you can ask me the last time
I was going to say, when's the
night.
last time that you played Magic on a Friday night?
Well, thanks for asking me, finally. Finally, thank you for asking
I would
me.
rather talk about myself than talk about other people.
I mean, I guess I understand, but I did play.
Tell me, please.
I played Magic last night / this morning.
Was
Does
it
that
awesome?
count?
What kind of Magic did you
It
play?
was awesome. I drafted Modern Masters.
You did?
I did.
What'd you draft?
I drafted Black, White, not Rebels.
Wow, just black-white value?
That's exactly what it was. I valued my
Amen.
way to 3-0 in that draft.
Must be nice.
It is very.
Must.
So I think we are moving back to the front table to watch Willy Edel and Marijn Lybaert because they are awesome at Magic.
They are. We're ascertaining how the time works out. I think Willy evened the score in the last round, so we're seeing Game 3 of Marijn Lybaert versus Willy Edel, with Marijn playing first. A big advantage in this matchup full of hasty beasts.
Speaking of hasty beasts, well, hasty spirits, there's a Strangleroot, guys. It's going to get in for 2. It's going to bring Edel down to 18.
All right, and Edel in his hand, seeing Strangleroot guys playing some D this time.
Is this another who's the beatdown situation?
It might be. I think both players of the beatdown. Wow, is that a literal shock for Marijn?
I think it is shock. Is that from the board? When,
Yeah,
when 4
one
pillars,
pillar, 2 shock.
you got to mix it up.
Well, what you want to do in this matchup is control your opponent's mana creatures.
And shock does actually a lot better job of doing that because being able to do it at instant speed.
Yeah,
is very
exactly. If you
relevant.
just have a spare mana, because you have to be. I played a deck a lot like this in the Future League for a long time. You have to have the first Hell Rider. You have to have the first Dragon. And if you don't, you're going to fall too far behind. So we may just be seeing a flurry of burn right here.
Museum
we're going to see a
Orders,
Is that a Flames of the Firebreak for
my.
both the Strangleroot guys
2 for
and the
1s.
Elvish Mystic? That is a huge setback for Willy right here.
Huge, huge, huge setback. How's Willy Edel going to come back from this? He has 4 mana, and he has a 4-drop, and it looks like it's a Gorg Clan Rampager. You're never happy to have to cast that guy as a 4/4, are you?
Yeah, you're not thrilled. I mean, it's doing a good job right now, though, of holding off both Hell Rider and the Strangleroot guys. So that's going to give Willy an opportunity to cast his own Thundermaw. And with conscripts in his hand, he might be able to turn this game around.
There's a second Strangleroot, guys, and that it's going to take out the one with the counter on it, but the shock is going to finish the job, and there's still a Strangleroot guy on board. Edel down to 12. 5 mana. There's Thundermaw Hellkite. We're going to try this race this way as Edel's at 10, Lybaert's at 15, so 3 attacks versus 5 attacks. This could be close, and there is, are we running the Thundermaws back?
I believe we're seeing a Hell Rider. I think that was Marijn's only his 4th land, but this Zealous Conscripts is going to be very, very close to lethal for Willy. It's going to be 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, so close.
That's so close, and he really needs to. He has to. He just says he has to think a lot, and we have to think a lot too.
Yeah.
Really, any haste creature for Marijn is game.
Yeah,
And
right. Even if Willy has a ton of defense, a land is game because of Thundermaw Hellkite. A haste creature is game. But a non-haste creature might spell game for Willy as he's able to muster an offense after gaining initiative for a turn. He's got, looks like a pair of Flinthoof Boars, which can certainly play D all right against that Hellrider and that Strangleroot Geist.
If only he had as much mana in the world.
Exactly. We would all like unlimited mana. He's also got a Scavenging Ooze, which could gain him 1 point of life because of all of his basic mountains. So it wasn't 2 Flinthoof Boars. It was Flinthoof Boar Scavenging Ooze, but not enough green mana to really capitalize on the ooze in the way that he'd like.
So what's the play here? I believe you have to just assume that Lybaert is not going to have a haste creature. That's the only way you can stay alive.
I think you have to plan around him drawing a blank for sure. And in that case, I think you just play both of your 2-drops. That's going to give you the best chance to stabilize on the ground against the Hellrider and the Strangleroot. And then I think you just try and kill him with Zealous Conscripts next turn after you still his Hellrider and get all of those damage triggers off both your Strangleroot guy or off your Flinthoof Boar and your Scavenging Ooze, plus any other haste creatures you may be able to draw.
Now, does the Scavenging Ooze being able to gain 1 life means that you can play around having 1 haste creature? Is that worth it, or is that?
It ordinarily would, except that you only have 1 extra. Oh, I see what you're saying, and that, like, okay, if you keep a forest up, then you might be able to do that. It's not a bad idea. I would need to sit and think about, and that's what Willy's probably doing, if that would allow him to attack for lethal next turn with only 1 additional creature and 2 additional damage, given that Marijn has defenders. But my gut is, Rashad, that you're right, and that actually would give him the most outs. Of course, it doesn't give him an out to Marijn's best card he can draw right now, which is simply a basic land. But no, that's a really good point, Rashad. I think Ooze plus Activate keeps you alive and allows you to attack for lethal off of your Zealous Conscripts.
So there are 2 green creatures coming into play, and the Thundermaw Hellkite is attacking because if the Thundermaw Hellkite comes down from Marijn,
all right, so big top deck from Marijn right now. What does he have? Is that a Gore Clan Rampager? That is going to allow him to trample over for enough damage to end this match in his favor.
I think Willy sees the writing on the wall. It's like, why did that attack happen? And he offers the hand. There you have it. He shows us the Zealous Conscripts. Doesn't matter. Marijn Lybaert wins 2-1 over Willy Edel.
No, I had the Hellkite. But I think pretty much everything. Well, no. Well, this is also game, right? Yeah, this is also. I think pretty much everything.
Show off your magic colors by purchasing new Planeswalker apparel at mtgmerch.com. Now, I'm the greenest mage.
Oh, yeah?
On the coverage team.
So Michael Jacob might be the darkest mage,
yeah,
but you were the greenest
I'm
mage.
definitely the greenest mage, but that Jace t-shirt is sweet.
That Jace t-shirt does rule.
That is the sweetest Jace t-shirt I've seen. I like the Liliana one, too. Actually, the Garruk one is probably not my favorite.
Well, it doesn't have lighted things that pop out in the way that Chandra, Lily, and Jace do.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm a big green dude.
I mean, that's green, though. Yeah, exactly. Green is not about impressing you with flashiness. Green is about holding an axe. Dog.
Being big.
Being big, exactly.
And holding an axe.
Bro, I have an axe. That is what my shirt is about.
So now we are back at the middle table, where we are watching Vincent Lemoine, and he is playing against, lost my paper.
I believe he's up against Enzo Real.
No, Enzo Real.
And that is the blue-white-red versus black-green match. So all 5 colors of the Magic Rainbow. And yeah, Enzo absolutely won the last match. We saw on camera Vincent getting a great top deck, but Enzo came back in the second game on the back of Demonic Rising, just riding it to victory. 5-5 Demon after 5-5 Demon.
Well, I guess that's exactly what it does. 5-5 Demon, then 5-5 Demon, and then that's it.
Well, eventually they've got to kill some of your 5-5 Demons, at which point, ideally, you'll produce some more 5-5 Demons.
In theory.
Yeah. I play tested that card in the Future League every once in a while. Mons Johnson put together some really awesome decks with it, as did Dave Humphreys I was never really able to get it to work, but it was a card I was secretly hoping would see some play in the real world, and it looks like it's doing so in a big way right here.
It kind of reminds me of some single creature strategies in some earlier Magic decks, like Nether Spirit decks.
Oh, yeah, dog. I played that at JSS Nationals 1999.
Oh, man,
Takes me back.
blast from the past, back when they were JSS.
Oh, yeah, not playing Ancestral Recall, just playing Literal Recall. Discarding 2 Nether Spirits. That was the way to win.
Whoa, you didn't want to discard 2.
Or, no, sorry, discard a Nether Spirit.
Yeah, there you go.
Let it get exiled, and then discard another one later. Yeah, the win conditions were 3 Nether Spirit, no Swamp, 1 Millstone out of the sideboard.
Those were the days.
Were they the days?
I mean, you know what?
I don't know if they were the days.
When you're living through those days and they just kind of sneak up on you, it doesn't seem so bad, you know?
Yeah, man. That was one of the 2 years I got 33rd place at JSS Nationals.
In a row?
Yeah, my mother was driving me to the tournament because I was a small child. And she wouldn't it be miserable to be the person that got 33rd when the top 32 all get tons of scholarship money?
Did you both have a chuckle during the ride there?
A chuckle or a depressed 16-hour car ride.
One of the other.
One of those.
Really, what's the difference? All right, so we have some magic here. We have a couple of land facing off, as you do in the beginnings of most of these games.
Here,
we hear there's some concerns about the pace of play in this match, and we may have some judge intervention at some point.
Yeah, apparently Willy just not happy about the pace at which Vincent's playing. I mean, he's playing blue-eyed red control. It's hard, but at the same time, you are obligated to finish your match on time, or play at a pace that will allow you to finish your match on time.
So Rael has a duress, and there's only one target. Well, there is 2 targets. One of them is flashback, but the Supreme Verdict hits the bin.
Yeah.
Leaves Lemoine with the hand of Think Twice, which he's immediately cashing in for a new card and a bunch of land.
We see again, yeah, Lemoine just tons and tons of lands, sort of like we saw game 1. No Sphinx's Revelation in his hand, but is going to be able to flashback Think Twice next turn. Not really under any pressure. Has an angel that he can cast at any point, but is probably going to want to wait for an Augur of Bolas to turn those angels into cards.
Yeah, he actually has a couple of angels, but Liliana is going to get one of those cards out of his hand straight to the graveyard. And looks like Enzo has a Liliana in his hand that he could discard to this Liliana, but looks like he's going to save it to get extra value. And
I was a little, I was kind of expecting a Lifebane zombie out there, which would be, to borrow a phrase, devastating against the hand of not 1 but 2 Restoration Angels.
Well, he only saw 1 of the Restoration Angels, but still, sure. you know that there's a target for it. That's interesting.
Yeah, so 4 mana now. Lemoine is capable of casting those angels. Enzo capable of casting the threats in his deck. We see another Liliana the Veil. We got that Demonic Rising that was so powerful last game. And there is 1 creature on the battlefield, and it is a Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenging Ooze, lots of oozing going on. Has a couple of, only has 1 green mana, no targets for it to gain life and get counters. But it can neutralize Snapcaster Mage.
A trivia question: what is Mark Rosewater's favorite creature type?
Is it Ooze?
I believe it might be Squirrel, but I think Ooze is second, and it possibly Ooze is first. So, you know, Ooze Tribal. I'm spoiling it.
And there's that Restoration Angel, no targets to blink. But it is a 3/4 flyer, so can't laugh at that.
No, yeah, it does a great job of threatening Liliana of the Veil before it absolutely rips apart both of these players' hands.
So attack goes at the Liliana. It goes down to 2 loyalty. There's an Augur of Bolas, so Lemoine is going to be able to get some value out of that second Restoration Angel if he gets to cast it.
And it looks like he's taking Sphinx's Revelation, relevantly not taking Syncopate right now, which is going to leave him open to Demonic Rising.
You would think that Lemoine would have learned his lesson the second game.
Look, man, as they say, you can't be results-oriented.
Demonic Rising. I've never lost to that card, even limited. This is what Lemoine saying.
I mean, like, taking Syncopate's not the greatest thing ever. A, you don't know how many Demonic Rising your opponent has. B, you know, you've got 2 mana up this turn, but you want to spend your mana later. And drawing counterspells is not the awesomest thing in the universe when your opponent has Liliana of the Veil on the table. So the play might be, all right, I'm going to need the Sphinx's Revelation to recoup this Liliana regardless. I'm going to try and draw into a Supreme Verdict, just keep the rest of those creatures off the battlefield.
So Real and the rest of Team Brazil's deciding between either Demonic Rising or Thragtusk, and it looks like Demonic Rising is the play, as it would be able to trigger right now with the exactly 1 Scavenging Ooze on the battlefield.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that Demonic Rising play. I think that, yeah, again, like BDM is reminding us right now, and that I think is one of the reasons that this card and Mutavault are in the deck. With Mutavault on the battlefield, no Supreme Verdict without mana open is going to prevent a demon from appearing right at the end of Real's end step. I mean, this Demonic Rising is just an incredible piece of technology for Team Brazil. This might be the only copy of this card that we see in this entire tournament, and it is a giant headache. Not only for blue-white-red, but potentially for Jund as well.
So there we have the freshly made demon token attacking for 5. It's outclassing that Restoration Angel quite clearly.
Yeah, and really unfortunate timing for Lemoine. Draws a negate the turn after Demonic Rising resolves, and just a really brutal situation for him. And now he's having to Revelation for a fairly small 3 cards just to try and come up with some way to answer this enchantment.
Let's see if Lemoine can find an answer. The 3 life is not bad either. It's bringing him up to 18. He has to dissipate another Sphinx's Revelation and a secret card.
It's a secret card, a great mystery. This card is the Gnostic gospel of Magic cards.
So Scavenging Ooze eats Augur Bolus from the graveyard. Lemoine draws a land to go with the other cards that he has.
Yeah, I mean, and we see only Thragtusk and the zombie from Enzo, but the real story, of course, is what Demonic Rising is doing that's on the battlefield right now. Handful of counters for Lemoine, another Sphinx's Revelation, but none of those are really good answers to 5/5 demons.
Well, 5/5 demons can't get chunked by 3/4 angels.
They certainly can. And I mean, Lemoine has enough of a life total that he doesn't have to be too worried about it right now.
He also has a second Restoration Angel, which, you know, can double team on a demon token, but it just comes back.
Right, exactly.
And there we see the Lifebane zombie. So now Lemoine's going to have to make a move, either get rid of the only white creature card in his hand or not allow this Lifebane zombie to resolve. It looks like Dissipate is the play.
Yeah, and that Lifebane zombie clearing the way for the pair of Thragtusk in Real's hand. I mean, Real really is in a shotgun blast of a match. Just haymaker after haymaker, and Lemoine with his negates not really able to finesse his way through this situation, but he's setting up another huge revelation.
So we do have a judge watching the pace of play on our match, and it seems like the judge would like the Brazilian team to play a little bit faster, which Willy Edel didn't like that too much, but...
My turn? No, I don't know if he finished.
So we're seeing right now, again, it was on Enzo's turn, there was a counterspell on the Lifebane zombie, and Vincent was trying to decide if he wants to untap just yet.
Yeah, meanwhile, Real is shuffling a pair of Thragtusk.
There's a... Okay, and that's head judge Jason Limbs talking to Willy right now.
We can't quite hear what they're saying, but it looks very heartfelt.
So what are we waiting for? Oh yeah, he's checking it.
I believe. So time in the main event has completed, but the feature match area does get a little bit extra time because we have to move them. They still have to get all their shuffling and pre-game procedures done. So we will find out exactly how much time's left, and then we will let you know And once that extra time is resolved,
It's time or not?
these players will be on the same 5-turn extension that you are familiar with in all other tournaments.
Well, the Belgians are really excited about something because they are all giggling and high-fiving one another. I guess Marijn is a cheery-looking guy. It's possible that, you know, it's just another day in the neighborhood.
All right, so Scavenging News is hitting the graveyard again. It's going to get rid of both of the instants in Lemoine's graveyard.
Yeah, and we see Lemoine drawing a Supreme Verdict. Again, though, it's not going to really be an answer for Demonic Rising. And
does he have an answer for this Vraska that's about to hit the board?
Vraska, the Unseen?
Wait, I can see it. It's right there. Wait, you can't see it right now.
Oh, you just don't want to look at it. Bad things may happen to you.
I believe that he didn't untap before I. Yeah. What? He was still in his hand of turn. He didn't already untap when I called the time in the round.
He already untapped?
No, he didn't.
Yes. No, he passed, but he still gets the.
I have to choose one side in the moment.
So it looks like there is some discussion going on between the players and a judge, but it has not stopped play as the demon does attack. And it looks like he gets chucked by a Restoration Angel.
Yeah, and we see we saw 2 mana tapped on the negate on the Vraska the Unseen. So we're seeing not a huge Sphinx's Revelation, but yet another Sphinx's Revelation for 3. Never going to be too upset to gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. And Vincent likely to be clearing the board on the Supreme Verdict if the verdict is that we are in extra turns.
I see what you did there.
That was not even intentional. I feel bad.
I think it was, and there is that Supreme Verdict. He's going to kill both of these creatures. Now, there is a Mutavault in play that can be activated, which will then trigger the Demonic Rising at the end of Real's turn.
Right. This is assuming, of course, that Lemoine does not have a burn spell he can use on that Mutavault at instant speed. What he's looking at, though, is that he's in the 4th turn of extra turns, and Enzo just doesn't have any haste creatures to be able to deal 16 right now. And that's the source of why Willy is so upset about the pace of play, you know, because, again, the Belgians can make it with a draw, and Brazil cannot.
That's what that die is. That means that that is the 4th turn of the 5-turn extension.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is this game is not close to being over, even if there were a few extra turns, even if there was a few extra minutes on the, you know, we are far away from a resolution of this match.
Yeah, so Thragtusk comes down for Real, which also is the one creature needed to trigger the Demonic Rising, so he gets another 5/5 Demon. Restoration Angel comes down, 5th turn, and that's it. There's the draw. This game is a draw.
But is it a draw? Is the match a draw, or is
I'm not
how does
sure.
this work?
Maybe.
So I believe this match ends in a draw, and the remaining match needs to be played, and Belgium is up 1 match.
That's right. Belgium is up 1 match because Marijn Lybaert won against Willy Edel, and the middle match of Enzo Real and Lemoine ended in a draw. So we still have Ayesen Abe versus Emmanuel Delvigne, which right now Emmanuel leads 1-0.
Right, because we held this match for the camera.
I believe that no matter what the outcome is, if this is the last game, I think that Belgium is going to win.
Yeah,
in all outcomes.
right. Because even if Abe wins, that's a draw, which advances Belgium. Of course, it still, of course, matters ultimately for the seeding next round.
So I believe that is it. Belgium wins this round, and we're probably going to.
Yeah. You see Willy and Marijn hugging it out. The 2 veterans, you know, Willy, again, clearly upset by the place of play, but they had a conversation about it, and it seems like they can be pretty confident that nothing shady was going on.
Right, so we're going to continue to watch. We still have a game that is going on, and it looks like a pretty interesting game, as a lot of cards are going to the graveyard. I'm looking for the dead.
Jace.
Oh, it's a Jace. I thought it was like a Dead Bridge chant or something somewhere that I couldn't see.
There may have been an actual Deadbridge chant as well, but we see Lifebane Zombie now coming out to complement the Thragtusk. The question is just going to be whether these creatures can do enough to that Jace before it mills Emmanuel out of the game.
Yeah, and the Lifebane Zombie does hit as a Restoration Angel gets exiled, but that's a pretty sweet hand, a double Supreme Verdict, Sphinx's Revelation, and a War Leader's Helix. A lot of life and a lot of defense there.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we're likely to see just a huge revelation this turn, and Abe at 20 life, not really in danger of dying anytime soon. That Jace is going to go to work.
So there is the Sphinx's Revelation, 4-5. Let's see what Abe can get from there. So how much time does this match have?
We're seeing, picking back up the cards, just drawing a huge amount of cards right now. Delvine going to have to put together something really crazy to get back in this game.
We're going to find out exactly how much extra time this match has, because if there is enough time for Abe to win 2 games, then it's a draw.
Then it's a draw,
yeah.
Right. The downside for Brazil is a draw advances Belgium. But this is extremely relevant for Belgium's seeding in the next round.
Exactly. So that was another Jace Memory Adept activation, which is milling all those cards from Delvine. And just a chuckle and a handshake.
Yeah, I think that was the last turn of extra turns or something.
That was the last turn. So that
close to ending the game.
It was
but not
pretty
quite
close. There. Didn't quite get there. But that game, Emmanuel Delvine wins 1-0.
All right, so it looks like Belgium, whether due to time or not, winning the first game of the matches turns out to be extremely relevant as Belgium wins that and advances to the next round.
So there was a lot of drawing going on in all those matches. Mostly, I'm talking about the Sphinx's Revelations draw.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, right? Yeah. You've got blue-white-red control against a black-green mid-range deck. Both of these decks capable of gaining huge amounts of card advantage, gaining huge amounts of life, presenting threats that are very challenging to answer and demand multiple answers per threat. Turns out that at the end of all of that, it's hard to kill your opponent in the process. So that's kind of what we were seeing in those matches.
Yeah. By the way, back in the booth, Rashad Miller, Zach Hill. We're setting up for an interview so we could talk with Team Belgium. I don't know how touchy these interview questions are going to be. Brian David Marsh can be a little bit brash at times. He may get right to the meat of the... I wanted to hear about the hug.
Is this going to be some Edward R. Murrow investigative journalism right here?
It very well could be. It very well could be. But with those, because there's a lot of drawing happening in that match, and I'm not talking about the Sphinx's Revelations drawing. I think we do want to hear about the hug. Let's find out. Let's find out the interaction that these guys have. What's the relationship going on between Belgium and Brazil? Let's hear from Brian David Marshall and Team Belgium.
Hi, everybody. This is Brian David Marshall, and I am here with a triumphant Team Belgium who just won their last match against Team Brazil to lock up a Sunday spot at the World Magic Cup. Vincent Lemoine, you've been here before playing at Worlds at the highest level. What does it mean for you to get back here?
Belgium is good. No, it's okay. It's nice. I know it's much power match, and you see what happened. I don't know.
Okay. I know it got a little heated during that match with Team Brazil, but I saw Marijn and Willy hug it out. Tell me, how did that end up for you guys?
Well, when the match started, we said, like, yeah, if this matchup is going to be important because the others were kind of like bad matchup for Brazil and bad matchup for Belgium, so we kind of knew I had to win. So when I won, and then it was a little tense, but we were just very good friends, and I like Willy, he likes me, so we're just very sportsmanlike, and we just said good luck in the top 8 to us.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about the Magic scene in Belgium and how people have been reacting to your success this weekend. Have you been hearing from a lot of your friends? What is the reaction like?
Well, we didn't hear from our friends, at least from the community I'm playing, but I guess they are very proud about our performance.
Hold on. You guys, Belgium, you guys need to call these guys and congratulate them on this awesome success.
I got some messages.
I got messages from my wife, I guess. and from my mother, yeah. But we come from a little town in Wallonia, La Louvière. We are very active, and well, Xavier is also playing there, and well, I want to thank the guys there for their engagement in the game, and well, I learned to play better in Outpost Brussels, but also there. So I'm very proud to be here, represent Belgium, and be able to make part of the top 8 with the help of Vincent and Marijn as well, and Xavier.
Yeah, talk to me for a second. I mean, these guys are huge fixtures in the Belgium community. They're established players. What does it mean for you to be able to play with them and have a little bit of help when things get a little tough?
I think play with Marijn and Vincent help us a lot. We learn a lot when I look them play, and when we build deck in sealed, it's really important because they have best ID than me. So I think it's really good to be with such player.
Excellent. And Marijn, you're a very strong Hall of Fame resume. Certainly on my short list of people that I was considering this year. What would a World Magic Cup Championship do you think for your resume?
I think it would do a lot. Like when I made day 2 today, I made it to 200 points. So that's already a start. And actually, when we played the match, Willy was like, if you win this match, well, if you win the round and you make top 8, you get my vote. So it's at least one more vote. So I'm already at 12 now. So everyone vote for me. I want to make Hall of Fame, please.
A little early campaigning from Marijn Lybaert for next year's Hall of Fame class. Congratulations to Team Belgium and to everyone else who's going to be playing on Sunday. Let's find out who they are. I'm Brian David Marshall, sending it back to the booth.
Now, one thing that Emmanuel didn't say about those text messages from his wife was, it's like
Where are we going?
Congratulations on your top 8. You forgot to take the garbage out before you left.
See, that wouldn't be nice and supportive.
Well, it is, but you still have to, make sure that the garbage gets taken out. All right, I hear the news desk is ready to let you go on. And this guy, he can't wait to get out of here. He's done with me. Let's send it to the news desk so Zach Hill can get out of this room, I guess.
Thanks, Rashad and Zach. A lot of great action down the stretch there. Bringing us one of our teams that's going to make it into the top 8 here at the World Magic Cup. Rich is over at the wall to give us an update with all the rest of them. Rich, who's in?
Here we go then. 4 pools, 8 slots at the top table for tomorrow. This is how it worked out. Let's get to the big board. Let me show you pod 1. Ireland, Belarus, Estonia and Hungary. The matches in the final, they were incredible, and it turned out that Hungary, right at the end of time, defeated Ireland by 2 matches to 1, and that put Hungary into the top 8 alongside Estonia, who swept the tables 3-0. So Estonia and Hungary are your 2 quarterfinalists from Pool A. Let's go to pool number 2. This is just an incredible story. You see, it is in fact the top 2 seeds, France and Iceland, who make it through. But goodness me, Greece, what a terribly hard luck story this is. Remember, they were down there as the 3rd seed. They went 2-0. They won their first 2. If they won their last round, they were in. If France lost, Greece was still in. Neither of those happened. And remember we said that seeding matters? Yesterday, in round 7, Greece took an intentional draw in round 7. And here they are, a 3rd seed, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Greece on the outside looking in. Commiserations to Simon Berthiaud and the boys. Iceland advanced, France advanced, Rafael Levy on an absolute tear, 12-1 in games he said he was today, 11-1 overall this weekend. He has been driving the French team forward. They will be back on day 5 of Worlds Week. Let's go to pool number 3. Austria, Brazil, Belgium and Ukraine. You've just seen the closing of the shootout there. It is Belgium who advance at the expense of Willy Edel and Brazil. They don't quite make it. Austria were already in, and then they comprehensively won their last match of the weekend against Ukraine. So they will be back. Reitbauer, Holtzinger and co. So that is pool 3. Pool 4, this was some of the most devastating magic I've seen. Let's show you pool 4. Chile, Czech Republic, South Africa and New Zealand. South Africa were already gone. New Zealand had won their first 2, but because they were a bottom seed, seeding matters, they knew that other things could happen in the final round. The Czech Republic won their match over South Africa to take them to 2-1, and that meant that Chile and New Zealand were battling it out. If Chile had beaten New Zealand, it would have been Chile at 2-1, New Zealand 2-1. New Zealand would have been out, Chile would have been in. It came down to a blue, white, red flash mirror in extra turns. Chile had tokens everywhere. And on turn 4 of extra turns, New Zealand came up with an uncontested supreme verdict. And that was the difference. And that is why you see New Zealand are through, and Felipe Tapia Becerra and those wonderful guys from Chile, they are gone. Czech Republic and New Zealand. Your top 8 will be Estonia, Hungary, France, Iceland, Austria, Belgium, New Zealand and the Czech Republic. But who plays who? For that, you'll have to wait for the end of day wrap. Back to Marshall at the desk. He's got a very special guest.
Hey guys, welcome back to the desk. So one of the teams that was just mentioned was Estonia, and I have Hannes Karem from Estonia. Hannes, welcome to the desk.
Hello.
That's all you need to say. You don't have to say anything more than hello. So can you give us a rundown on your team? It was you and who else for Estonia?
It was Mikk Kaasik, Rauno Raidma and Simon Roberts.
Was that one name you just said, or was it all 3?
It was all 3.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I cut you off. Now, I've been chatting with you here while I've been at the desk waiting to go. And you consider yourself a limited specialist.
Well, I won't consider myself a specialist in anything, but I like limited and I don't like constructed that much.
Okay. So how did you approach that when it came to the strategy of who played in the limited and who played in the constructed rounds for the tournament?
Well, I knew I wanted to play limited and someone had to sit out, so I didn't really thought it was necessary for me to play constructed. Plus, like I could triple kill the best and watch all the games, and I think it came like that. No one thought it was wrong, and it went like that.
And so everybody said, okay, we'll have you sit out for the constructed and we'll have you do the limited. Now, how did the limited portion go for you? Did you feel prepared when you came here?
Well, I have not done so well in any of the GPs for a year or so, so I've played many team limited tournaments in Sundays.
Oh yeah.
So I had played quite a lot of them, and also in we did a few test tournaments in Tallinn, Estonia, also, and I guess those helped.
Did those help a lot? Did you feel comfortable after doing those test sealed decks that you did in Estonia?
Well, the last one we did, we didn't win a match, I think.
Oh no.
But yeah, I knew I wanted, in return Ramnik, I wanted us to have a Boros deck. We got it. That was nice, and I wanted to be three two-core decks, but we got two two-core decks, so that was also fine.
Oh, okay, so not too bad. And you play a lot on Magic Online, actually, right? You won a Mox Championship this season.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
Okay, so it looks like we'll be seeing you later, but we will also be seeing you tomorrow with your Estonian teammates in the top 8 of the World Magic Cup. I'd like to wish you luck with that, Hannes. Thank you for the chat. And we're going to bring in yet another interview, so you can go right over here. There you go. And there you go. Thanks again. Hi.
Hi.
Sit down.
Thank you.
So, who do I have here? You're from Iceland.
Yeah.
And I'm not brave enough to make an attempt on your name on the air, so can you say it for me?
Alvin.
Okay, Alvin's a good one. What about the rest?
Helen, Ori, and Ragnar.
Okay, and so that was your whole team. Now, how did the testing go? Did you guys test in Iceland, or did you meet here in Amsterdam?
We tested in Iceland, a pretty small country, and we all live in the city, so yeah, we met a few times and opened some M14 pools. Made decks from that. And then we played some standard game and decided on the decks. So yeah, we tested a little. We didn't test much, I don't think at all for the Dragon Maze Team Shield, but we tested
the other stuff. Now, when you got here to Amsterdam, did anything change as far as what your testing had done? I know some of the players had seen some new decks and had made some late-minute changes. Did you guys do anything like that?
I did a last-minute change after seeing Brian Kibler's big rule. I was playing big rule, and I was going back and forth with how the deck should be. But after seeing his, I made the one change. I put Keswick Wolfram in.
Oh yeah.
And that won me many games.
It did really, so that was a good change.
Thank you, Kibler.
Yeah, we actually saw his deck list pop up quite a bit in the Unified Standard portion. Now, thinking a little bit zoomed out here, how did things go for your team overall? Was it a pretty smooth ride into the top 8, or was there a lot of bumps?
Yeah, no, it was pretty smooth. We won 2-1, then it was 2-1-1, then it was 2-1 and 2-1.
Wow, that's really good. So a very solid finish.
Yeah, we just came to play Magic, and we knew, like everyone else, we love the game. And
yeah, I was just asking Hannes about this. I was wondering, what were your guys' comfort level coming in with the different formats? Did you feel like your Unified Standard decks were really good, or were they just okay?
They were very good, because I think our selection of our choices on the standard decks was very good, because and obviously I was playing in the middle, like most of the team captains.
Yes.
And I expected them to play unit or UWR deck or some control deck.
Yes.
And that's the best matchup for my deck.
Ah.
It's a big rule. So it was I only lost one game in standard.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I won 3 unit and 2 or 3 WR. No, 2 of those and 1 black.
All right, well, it looks like you're going to get a chance to strut your stuff with your big Gruul deck tomorrow in the top 8 as well. Alvi, thanks for your time and good luck.
Thank you.
Yep, you can just go right behind me here. And it's you again.
Hello.
Hi, David. How are you? Sit down.
Pretty cool.
And David Reitbauer, we had you here at the desk a couple of days ago, and now you're back. Team Austria into the top 8. How does it feel?
Pretty good, of course.
Just pretty good. Was there a lot of high fives and hugs after you made it in?
A lot of, definitely, like limitless.
Absolutely. Now, why don't you walk us through your days? You know, I just talked to Alvi from Iceland. I said, how was the trip into the top 8? He said, pretty smooth. They 2-1'd every round, and it wasn't a problem. How did it go for Team Austria?
Yeah, we 3-0'd our first draft, our first seal. That was pretty cool. Then we had some issues with the first silver portion, 1-1-1. But today started out pretty smooth. We had also a 3-0.
Ah, very good.
And we had one crucial match against Brazil. And we won that, and because of that, we were debate. If we had lost that, we wouldn't be debate. So
wow,
it was pretty harsh in the 14th round, I guess.
Yeah, wow, that's insane. Now talking about your constructed decks, Team Unified Standard, I was asking both of them the same question. How comfortable are you with the deck and with your choices for the deck as you move into the top 8?
I'm perfectly comfortable.
Which deck are you playing?
I'm playing the black-white token deck.
Oh,
splashing red. So. We had always issues because we wanted to play Junt, but in the top 16 of the Invitational, we saw there's a deck with red and green from Kibler.
Yeah.
And so we changed from Junt to that deck and had one opportunity to play Aristocrat, so that was pretty fine.
So that freed up black.
Yeah, basically.
Of the card pool.
Yes.
And then you were able to play Junk Aristocrat, and you're also splashing red in that deck.
Yeah.
And then are you also playing blue, white, red?
Yes.
Yeah, that seemed to be a pretty standard, a pretty normal choice for most of the teams. Now, going back to the limited, you said that you 3-0'd the Return to Ravnica block sealed today.
Yes.
How was your pool? Was it just amazing? Pack rats everywhere?
We had 2 really good decks with 1 pack rat and 2 other rares. Which
Okay,
are
so
pretty
you
cool.
did get a pack rat.
Yeah. And in the other deck we had a Alm's Beast and the Blood Baron of Viscopa, which is also pretty cool. It's like, okay, and my deck was just what was left, basically.
Now, I'm curious, strategically speaking, did the captain, the team's best player, generally take the worst option when it came to the limited rounds?
No. We were just discussing which player fits which deck the most.
Their play style?
Yeah, their play style, and that's how we divided the decks.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. David, I want to say congratulations.
Okay.
I talked to you a few days ago, and now you're a top 8 competitor, so we're going to see you back here again on Sunday. You can stay here at the desk with me because we are ready to go over to the wall. Now, we had a little tease there from Rich, and we've got the top 8. We know the top 8, that's set in stone, but we don't have the brackets. Well, we have the brackets, they have the brackets, and we're going to send it over right now to the wall for Rich and BDM end of day wrap.
And play back the open.